Welcome back to episode 33 of the Genuine Life Podcast, the show that is on a mission to help beautiful souls like yourself achieve peace by unapologetically putting themselves first without the guilt through the sharing of my personal stories, the stories of others, and valuable resources. Now, go on and grab a drink, a notebook, and a pen, and let's get to it. I really missed y'all. It's time for us to reconnect, baby. Hello, my friends. Oh my gosh. I feel like screaming, but I'm not because I don't want to scream in your ear. But good gosh, I have missed you. It's your host, Jennifer Nicole, and I want to welcome you back to another episode of the Genuine Life Podcast. Thank you so much for tuning in. Happy Friday. I know this is not like our normal day, but I was like, you know what? I'm not waiting until Monday. I am giving my people an episode before they hit the weekend. You know, you made it through a week, and I just wanted to kind of drop in your inbox and just say hello because I've missed you. I really have. And I've missed podcasting, but you know, good God, life has been happening and a little bit of laziness mixed in there too. You know, I'm not gonna lie. Just like, I'll get off work and I'm just like, I just want to eat and watch a little bit of TV. And then before I know it, I'm like, well, I'll get up in the morning. You know that story. I'll set my alarm and I'll get up really early and I'll do that one. So I'm happy to be here. And before I jump into anything, I just want to say thank you so much to all of you because you guys have got to be some of the most loyal, dedicated listeners I have ever had the pleasure of knowing and being around, and just being able to come into your ears whenever I do drop an episode. Guys, we have hit 5,000 plus downloads. And this is coming on the heels of me not even recording consistently. So this is crazy. You guys are still listening. You're still sharing. And I just have to tell you, thank you. I am so appreciative. And it just really ignited another fire because you guys keep me going. Seriously, I get these messages and DMs literally from people who are like listening to episode 15, or like someone's like, oh my gosh, I listened to your moving episode and it helped me move, or, you know, I'm taking the leap, or thank you for sharing your Google podcast episode. Like, just so many things you guys tell me are helping you, and it just helps me keep going. So just wanted to say thank you. And I'm so rude. I didn't even ask you how you're doing. How are you doing? Gosh, it's been so long since we've connected. I hope that you're doing well. I hope that you're taking care of yourself. And we're going to talk a little bit about that today. But I really do hope that you were taking good care of yourself, putting yourself first, realizing that that is not selfish, okay? And I hope you're doing good. I hope you're looking good. Hope you're feeling good, you know, stretch it out a little bit if you need to. But I am just so excited to be here with you. And I feel like I say this all the time, but I really am committed to you. I'm not going anywhere. I just need to, I don't know what I need. I need some time management skills. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, so I am going to freestyle this episode, guys. I have a few notes of things that I want to talk about, some things that I want to catch you up on, and things that I'm excited about, and some things that are on my heart. But for the most part, I'm going to like freestyle this thing because, I mean, we're friends and family, so it'll be like a little combo, okay? So I am actually sipping out of one of my favorite cups. It is a cup that I purchased off of Etsy a long time ago. So if you all are like really into glitter and personalized things like myself, I had purchased a Yeti. And if you all listen to one of my favorite thing episodes, I always talk about Yetis. I think they are incredible. I have not found a cup or a tumbler like it. Your ice stays in there for hours, for days. I've actually had ice in one cup for a whole 24 hours, which is crazy. But anyway, I'm sipping out of one of my Yetis that is super glittery with my name on it. And I am having some Publix sweet tea tonight. And if you've ever had Publix sweet tea, then you know it's like crack. It is so good. You don't need anything in it. It's so good. So I do not have alcohol in here tonight. I am not sipping on anything but this sweet tea. So yeah, that is what I'm going to be sipping on throughout tonight, because it is 10 o'clock, I think. We're doing this live, okay? yeah, I don't need to be drinking nothing. Okay. So anyway, what have I been up to? So since the last time we've connected, which was, I think maybe about a month ago, I have been working my little tail off. Work is so cool. So as many of you know, I'm at Google now. I am a part of a really cool team where I get to help people who are early on in their careers as software engineers find their roles at Google. And it is really just a role that has been tailor-made for me. It's so cool. So I get to help people find their roles. I get to help them prepare for their interviews. And that has been fun. But I've also had really cool opportunities, speaking engagement opportunities, where I've been a guest on a few podcasts. So when they air, don't worry, I'll be sharing that with you because I would love your support. I've also been invited to a few Facebook Lives, the LinkedIn Live I did that was really good, where I've been helping people, just kind of talking about what recruiters look for on resumes, and that's been fun. And I've also been helping people that book me with their resumes and LinkedIn pages as well. And that has been really interesting. I've enjoyed that more than I thought I would. And so I'm actually kind of in a space now where I'm trying to figure out how to revamp that because I'm like really enjoying it. And I think I'm actually going to tailor my services to people who are interested in becoming, specifically like becoming recruiters. That is where I appear to kind of get really excited when I start talking to people. So stay tuned for that. We'll talk a little bit more about that anyway. But yeah, so that's what I've been doing. And Atlanta's been really good to me this year. It's been really cool. Maybe in a later episode, I will share details, but been out here just working, socializing a lot more, which I've been really proud of myself for because maybe I would say the past, like the 4 or 5 years before moving back here, I was very antisocial. It would take a lot for me to leave the house and, everything was getting delivered. Now I think I'm like going out almost every weekend, maybe, which I'm really proud of, even if it's just like going out to dinner with a friend. So I've been doing that and meeting people and doing a little bit of dating, which hasn't really been going anywhere, but I'm trying, so that's good. Yeah, so I'm just kind of living my life, and I think that that's been something that I'm really proud of. If for those of you who've kind of like OGs to the podcast, that I've kind of gone through this really like a transformation, I think, where with this whole mental health thing, and where I've been very introverted in a sense. I'm very extroverted on this podcast, but if you really, really know me and you've been around me, it takes a lot for me to get up, get dressed and go out before. And so now to see myself really getting up and getting out and kind of motivated to socialize has been a really cool thing to do. So, yeah, that's what I've been doing and just trying to figure out my kind of rhythm. I kind of mentioned this in the beginning. I was joking, but I'm kind of serious. I just feel like there's not enough time in the day. And, that old saying where it's like Beyonce has the same 24 hours you do. And I'm like, yeah, but dang, what is she doing with hers? Because like, where is it going? I feel like I wake up and it's like 3:00 in the afternoon and I've done nothing, but I've been working and it's just too much. So any tips on time management, or if you know anybody that's really good with time management, we can bring them on the show. That would be good. Yeah. So yeah, email me or send me a DM on Instagram. I'd be interested to do an episode about that because I don't think I'm the only one with that problem. We kind of talked about work already, but yeah, super excited to be at Google. You guys know that. Love it, love it, love it. And if I do figure this whole thing out about revamping my services, I'll be sure to let you know for sure. Another very cool thing I'm working on is I've been getting a lot of requests and questions and just, hey, what are you doing? When are you doing this kind of thing? Is a podcast boot camp. A lot of people are just looking for me to help them start their own podcast. And what's really cool about that is we all have a story. Everybody has a voice. Everyone has something to say. All of you do. Even if you think you don't, you do. you have a passion, you have something that just lights a fire under you that you could talk about all day long. All of us have that. And some people are interested in getting that story out. And so I've been getting questions about my podcast, the equipment that I use, what I do. And some people that have purchased the ebook want to kind of expand on that ebook and get more of a personalized service. And so I am putting together a podcast boot camp where I would actually work with a very small group, one-on-one. I know it's kind of like a conundrum, but it would be a small group that works with me. And I would actually work with you really from beginning to end, from your concept to all the way up to your first 2 episodes, including your trailer. So putting all that together, so stay tuned for that. I'm very excited because I'm just realizing I just love that kind of hands-on work. So stay tuned for that. But, the thing that's been on my heart the most that I really wanted to save some time on this podcast to talk about, if you follow me on Instagram, I kind of went on a rant actually on Wednesday when Simone Biles backed out of the Olympics. It seemed to kind of cause an uproar, and I really couldn't understand why. I wasn't getting it. And this is, of course, coming on the heels of Naomi Osaka, who chose not to continue on in competing for tennis due to mental health reasons. And, that seemed to cause backlash. And you all know how passionate I am about mental health and your personal space and making decisions that are best for you. And it just, for lack of a better phrase, pissed me off because I'm just like, here we are talking about the importance of mental health and how you got to put yourself first. And we're always crying at the end when someone is like stressed out and, oh my God, we have to race and rush over to them and help them. But the minute somebody that and I say we as a country and as a people have kind of put in our heads as quote unquote unbreakable, I guess, or someone who's just has achieved this epitome of greatness, suddenly appears quote unquote weak to us. It can't be a mental health issue. They're just weak. And I was really bothered by that whole thing because I thought it was a terrible example of support. You know what I mean? Like I think it was a perfect example of what not to do. And I think it shows exactly why people are afraid to come out and say why they need a break or why they need to step away from something. It's because of that kind of backlash. And it didn't matter who they were. I think everyday people go through that, right? Like imagine if you're the CEO of a company and you have 50,000 plus employees, or the CEO and you got 10 employees. You can't walk in that day and say, guys, I'm over you. I'm stressed out, I'm overworked, and I'm overwhelmed, and I need to step back. You can't say that, right? But I also believe that everybody needs someone that they can lean on and talk to and trust. And the problem is we're not creating these safe spaces for people to be able to do that. And it needs to happen. Absolutely. And so I wrote down 4 things that really came to mind for me when I kept hearing these stories and this backlash. People were just like, I don't understand how we're calling Simone a hero. She just let her whole team down. And I'm like, are you kidding? Like, what? So first of all, mental health does not have an age. Okay. Your 7-year-old can be overwhelmed and overworked from going to preschool. Okay. They could have faced something traumatic that you don't know anything of, which is why communication is so important. Okay. That's number 1. It doesn't have an age. Depression, anxiety, stress, being overworked, feeling underappreciated, undervalued, all of that can happen at any age. And trust me, it can. And it's always triggered by something, which is why you always have to make yourself available to be a listening ear to somebody who's talking to you. Sometimes we're so caught up in our own mess. And trust me, I get it. Sometimes people come to me and I'm like, I cannot take on what you're telling me right now. And I get that, right? But I encourage you, I really do. I really encourage you to be open when somebody's coming to you, especially if it's somebody that never really comes to you or someone who's never really opened up to you before. Please pause and listen, because a lot of times they're crying out for help. Okay? Mental health does not have an age. It also does not have a color, and it does not look a certain way. The person that's dressed down in Gucci and Balenciaga can be just as depressed as the homeless person on the corner. Okay? Just because somebody's wearing a smile on their face every day, please do not mistake that as somebody who is extremely happy and giddy and they have it all together. They probably don't. And I'm not saying they don't, but I'm just saying please don't assume at all that they do. It is so important to always just be open to the possibility that someone needs you that may not have the face, quote unquote, of depression. You never know. And that is why it is so important to treat people kindly, because you don't know what they're dealing with. You don't know what they're dealing with. They could have an ill, someone sick, and they're still showing up for you every day. And you have the nerve to have an attitude. And you don't know what it took for them to get out of bed and show up for you. So that's why I'm saying, please be mindful of how you treat people, because depression and mental health, it doesn't have a color. Black people aren't the only one that get depressed. White people aren't the only ones that get depressed. You know what I mean? Like, everybody faces it. So please be nice, be kind. My little doormat outside says be kind. That's all. It doesn't take much. Just treat people how you would want to be treated. I also want to remind you that you don't owe anybody anything. Now, granted, Naomi and Simone, obviously they have millions of followers. At some point, they kind of had to tell us why they were backing out, because I was curious at first. I was like, girl, I was rooting for you, But then the minute I heard mental health, it was none of my business, okay? And that's where I think it needs to end. The minute somebody says, you know what, I need a break, or hey, I just need to take a moment, it is none of your business why. Unless they share it with you, all you have to do is say, okay, if you need me, I'm there, period. I think the problem nowadays is everybody thinks they're entitled to a reason, and it needs to be justified. It was as if she had to say something like meaningful for people to be like, oh, okay, she's pregnant. Like if all of a sudden that would have been a better reason for her to back out. Or, she broke her foot. That's better. No. How about her mind was overwhelmed? How about she just didn't want to do this anymore? How about that? You know what I mean? Nobody else is up there flipping on the Volt 4, 5, 15 million times and putting their body through all that stuff. But you have the nerve to sit on your old recliner couch that you've had for 15 years with that old Coors Light beer hanging off the side. And you got the nerve to tell this girl that she got to get back out there and flip for you. No, that's not how this works. That's not how mental health and awareness works. Okay. No. And it's so easy to sit back and judge somebody else on something that you would never do. You don't even know what somebody else is going through, but it's so quick to point the finger. And so I'm just telling you, if you are the person on the other end making a decision that is good for you, you owe no one nothing. You don't have to tell them anything. You don't even have to tell them that you listen, I need a break. Hey, I can't go out tonight. I'm sorry. Tonight's not a good night. And if people can't understand that, especially now where we are today, then you don't need them around you. I'm sorry. And it's literally just that black and white for me right now in my life. We got way more things going on than somebody to be upset with you because you need to take a break for yourself. Another thing I want to remind you, and this kind of ties in with that, is that not one single soul has experienced life like you. No one's ever going to. No one's ever going to see life through the lens that you see it. So no one ever has the right to tell you how to process information. No one ever has the right to tell you how to deal with something that you're facing. They can offer advice. They can share what they may have, like if they've gone through it, that maybe they can tell you what they've done. But no one has the right to tell you what to do. No one has the right to tell you how to process information. And certainly believe that no one has the right to tell you when you can take a break or back out, or when you have reached the limit. No one can tell you when you should have healed from something. No one should tell you a time limit on when you should forgive somebody. I just forgave somebody after 10 years. 10 years. Now, I mean, that was long, but it was on my terms, right? And it made it better because it was when I wanted to, not because somebody forced me to. And it made the forgiveness organic. Don't let anybody force you to do anything. Anything. This whole mental health journey is about you. And when I say mental health, I'm not talking about quote unquote crazy or we're not talking about that. I'm talking about the whole thing. I'm talking about when you wake up in the morning, if you don't look in that mirror and feel good about yourself, that's a part of mental health too, right? Start writing things on Post-its and write. I don't care what you need to do, but do it. You need to walk out the door every day knowing that you're the, oh God, I was going to curse, but I don't know if y'all got kids in the car. The SHIT. Okay? Like, I need you to get this because I don't care if I have to do every episode on mental health. If I have to, I will. Because I'm telling you from experience, this thing almost broke me down to the point where I was missing out on my life. And I refuse to let anybody else do that again. Don't do it. If you need to get help, professional help, do it. Many of these companies nowadays are offering free therapy sessions. Don't be ashamed. Go ahead and do it. And trust me, you don't have to talk to anybody about it. You don't have to tell your friends, oh, I'm going to a therapist. If that's not something you want to discuss, don't discuss it. But if it is something you want to discuss, you talk to someone that you trust. Okay? I feel like I'm yelling. I don't know if I'm yelling or not. I just get so passionate about this. I don't think people understand. You don't have a right to tell anybody what to do. And you certainly are not about to tell me how to process my mental health. You're not going to tell me how to take care of myself when you're not paying a bill. You know what I mean? Like, are you crazy? And if that means you need to go off the grid, go off the grid. Take a trip. Cut your phone off. I told y'all, I'm on Do Not Disturb from 9 p.m. until 7 a.m. The only people that can get through are my parents and my sister. That's it. Do it. Okay, let me take a deep breath. I hope that wasn't too heavy. And I really hope you understand I'm coming from a very genuine place. This is very serious to me because people are losing their lives over mental health. And being afraid to talk. We have to normalize not being afraid to say I need help. We need to normalize not judging people. I wish somebody would judge me for popping a pill in the morning to get through the day. I wish you would. Listen, I knew, and that's what I said to my therapist, that anything had to be better than what I was doing because I wasn't living. I was not living. So anything at this point had to be better than what I was doing. So if that meant I needed to pop a pill in the morning, I was willing to try it. And my quality of life has changed. So I'm not telling you that you need medication. I'm not a doctor. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just telling you that if you don't feel like you're living your best life right now, you need to figure out another plan. And whatever that is, figure it out. Because life is way too short. And the last thing you want to do is regret not living. You don't get another chance to do this. So stop worrying about what other people have to say. Stop worrying about what other people are doing. They're going to talk about you regardless. Somebody going to call you crazy. Somebody going to say you're wasting time. Oh, she's crazy. She's this, she's that. He's this, he's that. Let them talk. They're going to talk anyway. Live your life and make sure you live it to the fullest. You think Simone Biles cares what somebody in Arkansas talking about? No, that girl's still collecting checks. But her mind is at peace. She's still good. She's still in Tokyo. She's still collecting medals and she's still living her best life. But she's taking care of herself. And that's what it's all about. Okay, that's it. I'm done, I think. I love y'all. And if you don't hear that from anybody else, I'm telling you, I love you. I really do. I love people. I love when people are putting themselves first. I really do. And I need you to get that. So if you don't hear that from anybody else, you heard it from me. And Puffy, my dog, he's sleeping in my closet somewhere. That's why it's so quiet. Okay. Deep breath. So anyway, that's why I tell you guys to journal and meditate every day. That thing has changed my life. It works. Get you some Post-its. Order you some Post-its and write reminders everywhere. I have Post-its on my way out the door that remind me that I am worthy of a good day. I'm worthy of a free coffee or a favorable day. I look good. I literally write everything all over my house. I look crazy, but I don't care. It works for me. I have things on my work computer, little reminders every day that I am smart. You know, I have to. Sometimes all of us kick ourselves in the tush every day. You know, some of us interview and the interview results don't come back the way we want it. And then all of a sudden we're thinking we're idiots and we're not smart and we're not good enough. No, that doesn't fly with me. Because, see, I always flip it. I don't think it's me. I mean, now, unless I know I flubbed on the interview, that's a whole different story. But for the most part, I'm like, it just wasn't meant for me. And I keep it moving. Because whatever, I keep telling y'all, whatever's meant for you will find you. All right, okay. Yeah. I can go on and on and on. Okay. Upcoming episodes. You ready? I'm going to start doing this too. I think this is fun. Okay, so upcoming episodes, you got to look forward to this. I am finally doing a My Favorite Things episode. It's been a very long time since I've done one, and I know you guys are waiting. I've actually had 2 people email me about it, like, where is it? And I actually have a lot of stuff. So I don't know. I think I might have to break it up into 2 episodes. So if you're new to my podcast, every quarter, so every 3 months, I normally do a My Favorite Things episode. So think like Oprah when she used to do like a My Favorite Things for Christmas and she was giving people cars, except I'm not giving you a car. I'm just trying products and I give you a very honest review on things that I love. And I will list them. Normally it's 10 products, but because it's been so long since I've done one, I think I have like 20 things that I've tried that I am obsessed with. Some things I kind of post on my story. So if you're not following me on Instagram, you might want to do that. And I'm always constantly tagging businesses. And I also try to support small businesses. So I cannot wait to share this particular company that I found on Etsy. They are a small business, and you all know I am a sucker for good customer service, and I'm a sucker for anybody who makes things with their hands, because I just feel like extra love is put into it. I cannot wait to share their page with you. So once my product gets here, I will be posting them and putting them in that episode. But there's just I try to feature like Black-owned businesses, women-owned businesses, minority-owned businesses, and just in some major businesses as well. But I just talk about anything that's of good quality. If you know me, I also love gadgets. So I'm constantly talking about any new kind of tech that I've purchased. So tune in for that. That's coming next. I also want to have another episode coming up that I'm really excited about too, that has been on my mind. And I've kind of been jotting notes down over the past, I think 2 months, kind of building up an episode. But it's going to be called the Blueprint episode. And it's going to be way too difficult for me to kind of talk about it here. And I guess the only way I can tell you right now is that I want you to know that you're the blueprint, and I'll leave it at that. And then I kind of want to get into why dating is so hard. And so that will be more geared toward people who are single and dating right now. So I'm trying to figure out how I want to do the episode. I don't know if I want to do have a guest on the show. And right now I'm thinking I want a guy. So if you are a guy listening and you're single and dating, I think it would be very interesting to have you on the show and we kind of go tit for tat. And then if you are dating and you have a question, send it in. Email me or send me a DM on Instagram and let's talk. Have a very honest conversation. I think it is time because I am oh, what the hell is going on out here? If you follow me on Instagram, sometimes I post my dating app fails, where I'll post anonymously, of course, bios that I come across that just kind of blow my mind. I'm just kind of over it. So yeah, so just to kind of backtrack, if you are a guy, because I think that'll make the episode very interesting. If you're a single guy and you are dating, heavy on the single, okay? Don't come up here if you married and you consider yourself single. Okay? No, very single. Okay? You need to be single and dating. Not married, not separated. I need you to be single, okay? And dating. And you want to be on the show, let me know. Because we're going to have a very honest conversation about dating. And if you are dating, whether you're male or female, and you want to ask a female, me, or a male, my guest, a question, go ahead and email me. My email address will be in the show notes, or DM me on Instagram, your question, and we'll make sure to address it in that episode. I think that'll be a fun one. Yeah, that'll be fun. Okay. And then upcoming speaking engagements. So I have some things coming up. I have 2 podcast episodes that are going to be airing really soon. So I'll make sure you guys know when that is happening. I'm also going to be speaking at Southern Polytech out in Cali. I'm obviously not flying out there, but virtually. And I'm very excited about that. I think the irony of it all is really cool. But I'll be speaking to computer science students during one of their meetings. And so I'm really excited about that opportunity. So I will let you know about that. And then so I might be a panelist in a few conferences coming up too, so waiting to hear back about those. So yeah, I'm really cool. So really cool. Duh. I meant to say it's really cool. I am very excited. So with that being said, if you are listening and you have a podcast or an event or anything, I'm really digging this speaking thing. So, holla at me. I would love to kind of pop on and join you on your show. So feel free to reach out. I'm open to discussing podcast episodes and collaborations. That's always fun. But yeah, I think that's it. I feel like I talked you all's ear off, but I've missed you. I really have. And I'm excited to be here and back. So yeah, happy Friday, all that good stuff. I hope you have a beautiful weekend. And please make sure you're taking care of yourself. Make sure you journal. I don't care if you just write down that you had a beautiful day, or you just write down 5 things that you're grateful for. But really try to center yourself and be present. Don't worry about the past. It's gone. Don't worry about the future. It hasn't even occurred yet. You don't even know what's going to happen. So don't even worry about it. Just stay in the present and just breathe. Okay? Take a few minutes and just breathe. Be in the moment. Don't worry about the past. Don't worry about what's to come. Just stay in the moment. Put your phones down for a minute, except when you're listening to my podcast. And, just chill, man. Like, live life. I feel like I'm like a hippie. But just live and have fun. Like, this is not supposed to be this complicated. Like, love one another, love yourself, and just live. Like, yeah, I don't know. That's my prayer for all of us in this upcoming week. But, yeah, I'm looking forward to connecting with you. So I think what I'm going to do, let's do this. Because this is my show and I can do what I want. I'm going to switch the podcast days to Friday. Because that just kind of works, I guess. So next episode will be next Friday, since I'm airing this one on Friday. So I'll see you next week. Don't forget to, of course, share. Please tag me if you share that you've listened to this episode so that I can repost you and show you some love. And if you are on iTunes, go ahead and make sure that you are rating and subscribing, because what happens is that'll help boost me up to the top, but it also helps to bring more genuine lifers over so that we can keep spreading all the positive vibes across the podcast waves. And then, of course, follow me on IG. That's really where I hang out the most. I'm constantly posting to my Insta story so we can really connect there. Also LinkedIn. If you have a question about resume services or your LinkedIn page, right now I'm really trying to help people who are interested in becoming recruiters or HR professionals. And obviously, I work with people who are considered to be early career software engineers. Anything else, I really really not that great at. Not to say I'm not that great, but I can't help you because that's not really my focus at Google. But that's a whole nother episode I'll air. Actually, you can listen to episode 32 because I take a really deep dive into that. But yeah, we can talk more about that. Look out for my podcast boot camp. I'll keep you posted with that. I have new merch coming too. There's a lot going on over here, y'all. I'm excited. So just stay with me. I appreciate you. I love you. I hope you have a fantastic weekend. I will see you right back here next Friday. Okay? And yeah, thanks for tuning in. And take a deep breath. It's all good. You're good. You're great. You're amazing. Don't forget to meditate. Don't forget to journal. And finally, you're amazing. Stay encouraged. Toodles.